I have been using the new DJI Pocket 4P alongside the Pocket 4 for about the past 2 months now, and in this video I am going to be showing you a lot of side-by-side comparisons I have captured in that time across multiple locations, lighting and weather conditions to show you where this dual cameraed new model improves over the single camera version. And spoiler alert, it's not just when zooming in. We're going to test every new feature and upgrade of the Pocket 4P, uncover the hidden pros and some annoying limitations I found, and answer the one question that really matters. Is it actually worth the extra money over the Pocket 4? Or if you have been holding out as a Pocket 3 owner, is now the time to upgrade? Let's jump right in. Now, straight away, you will notice on top of this same 3-axis mechanically stabilized gimbal as the Pocket 4, the 4P has a dual camera system. And we'll see shortly if the extra weight of this module affects stabilization. Both feature a 1x 20mm equivalent wide-angle camera, but the 4P includes a second 3x 60mm equivalent Tele Camera. But let's first focus on the wide angle, because while both the 4 and 4P use a 1-inch sensor for this camera, the 4P's sensor is entirely new and really quite special, and that's because it uses low-fic technology. Now, I have been doing a ton of research into how this works, so allow me to get nerdy for a second. And from what I can tell, the now older Pocket 4 would simultaneously and automatically combine multiple exposures while recording to improve dynamic range, whereas this new low-fic sensor captures everything in a single shot. Each pixel of the sensor can store more light before it clips using larger capacitors, helping preserve both highlight and shadow detail without relying on HDR merging. Technical jargon aside, the result is a staggering claimed dynamic range of up to 17 stops, 3 more compared to up to 14 stops on the Pocket 4. Before we put that to the test, let's first talk resolutions, because those remain unchanged, maxing out at 4K 60 FPS in normal video mode. These can go higher in slow motion mode, which we will touch on shortly. And when looking at well-lit daytime footage captured in the normal color mode, honestly side by side with the Pocket 4, it's hard to notice any big changes. However, when you start shooting in higher contrast scenarios, such as sunrises, sunsets, indoors looking out a window, or with the sun behind backlighting you, a camera's worst nightmare, this is where I have noticed the incredible dynamic range of the 4P come into its own. Now, DJI claim that to be able to get the full 17 stops of dynamic range, you need to use a new color mode called DLog 2. But I have definitely noticed, even when using the normal color mode, which has captured all the clips you have seen so far, the 4P is capable of getting extra dynamic range. But, as mentioned, to get the full capabilities of this new sensor, you need to use that brand new color mode. Swiping from the right of the screen and going into settings, you can see we have 10-bit normal, giving us beautiful looking footage we can use straight from the camera. HDR color mode has also been added back after being removed from the Pocket 4, and using this will allow the footage to play back brighter on an HDR capable device such as modern smartphones. And then we have DLog and DLog 2. Now, both DLog profiles are flatter with saturation and contrast removed that better preserve highlights and shadows. And this not only gives you more flexibility when color grading in post, but means once graded, you can get an image with more dynamic range. But what are the differences between DLog available on the Pocket 4 and the new DLog 2 profile on the 4P? First, DLog 2 offers significantly higher highlight and shadow retention, so more dynamic range, and a lower base ISO of 100 compared to 400 for DLog, so less noise in the final shot. Just take a look at this comparison between clips captured in normal color mode and DLog 2 graded. There is a huge amount more detail in the dark shadows. Using DLog or DLog 2 also has the benefit of stripping that post-processing sharpness that is automatically applied to the normal color mode, and there's often a large amount of contrast added that makes the shot look very digital. So using DLog or DLog 2, you get a much more natural looking image. The difference is pretty huge. The next big upgrade to the DJI Pocket 4P is the addition of a second 3x Tele Camera with a 1/1.28 inch sensor, slightly larger than the zoom camera on the competing Insta360 Luna Ultra. And if you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss my three-way fight between these three pocket cameras coming soon. But this second camera gives you a dedicated 3x telephoto lens that you can zoom all the way to 12 times. So let's quickly compare each zoom level between the Pocket 4 and the Pocket 4P. So when you're at 1x, both cameras are using their main wide-angle lens. 2x is a little confusing because on the older Pocket 4 you get a lossless 2x zoom, so image quality stays virtually unchanged. But at the time of filming this review, the Pocket 4P does not support lossless zoom yet, so 2x is just a digital crop. That means that the Pocket 4P actually looks better at this zoom level for now, although DJI has said that they will fix this in a future firmware update. At 3x, the Pocket 4P switches to its dedicated telephoto camera, and the difference is immediately obvious compared to the Pocket 4's digital crop. From there, the Pocket 4P jumps to 6x, while the Pocket 4 tops out at 4x. The 4P can also zoom all the way to 12x, but that's a digital crop, so image quality does drop off a bit, but this is still very usable. For the best results, I'd stick to 1x, 3x and 6x. And I have found myself using this 3x camera repeatedly because not only is the focal length more flattering for portraits with less facial distortion, it also has a shallower depth of field, giving natural background blur. And lastly, if you plan to use the Pocket 4P for content creation, capturing close-ups for B-roll with that 3x camera results in much better looking shots. And while all this sounds great, there is one drawback I have noticed with that zoom camera that we will touch on shortly. But first, what is that, I hear you say? Well, this is the Pocket 4P's little controller. DJI has included this with the Creator Combo. Eagle-eyed viewers among you will have already noticed it's basically just lifted from the Osmo Mobile 8P. And after using it for the past few months, I'd say it's fine. It lets you remotely control the gimbal, monitor your framing, zoom the camera, switch shooting modes, start and stop recording, and enable tracking. And I was worried pairing each time would be very slow, but thankfully it reconnects almost instantly. That said, the screen preview is pretty small, you can't change resolution or frame rate settings, and my biggest complaint is that you just can't attach it to the Pocket 4P. It has to be charged and carried separately, so it feels like something you would always forget, and without a USB-C port, you always need to bring this dongle if you want to charge it on the move. On the plus side, the wireless range is genuinely impressive, and I find even when using it at 50 meters range from the camera, there's very little latency. Speaking of low light, as before, the Pocket 4P does include a dedicated low light mode, which increases noise reduction to get cleaner looking footage. However, I have also noticed that compared to the 4, max ISO has been doubled up to 51,200, allowing you to get brighter nighttime footage in extremely dark scenarios. But looking at side-by-sides with the main wide-angle camera in street-lit scenarios, it's hard to see a difference between the two. Both produce impressive looking footage. Where the 4P absolutely destroys the Pocket 4 is when zooming to 3x. There is a significant loss of detail and lots of noise introduced on the 4, whereas the 4P, with its dedicated 3x telecamera, produces impressively clean looking footage. While on the topic of nighttime recording, the fill light introduced with the Pocket 4 gets upgraded with a new automatic mode, allowing it to adjust brightness and temperature automatically. Stabilization is just as good as on the Pocket 4, and that is high praise, as it was already excellent. Just take a look at these running shots, and the mechanical gimbal does a great job at smoothing everything out. The additional weight of that dual camera module does not affect anything at all. And if you want to slow your footage down, both the Pocket 4 and the new 4P can record in 4K at up to 240 FPS, allowing you to create stunning slow motion footage at up to 10 times slower than real time. But the Pocket 4 has an advantage in that the 3x Tele Camera can also record up to 200 FPS at 4K, allowing you to get ultra slow motion zoomed shots. Photos remain unchanged, with both pockets allowing you to capture stunning 37 megapixel JPEG or RAW images. And there's also a live photo mode which captures a 3-second clip alongside each photo you capture. So now let's take a look at 3 things I have discovered over the past few months of testing this camera that I really like. First up is the new ND filters. While on the Pocket 4 they simply magnetized to the front, this never felt very secure. Now, however, on the 4P, these twist lock into place, meaning they are much more securely attached. Secondly, you can press and hold on the screen to lock the exposure, preventing jarring exposure shifts as you move around. Next, transfer speeds. And I know that might sound boring, but if you plug this into a device, it's capable of transferring the footage stored within it at up to 800 megabytes per second. Let me tell you, that's super fast and means you can offload the footage really quick. But it's not all good, because here are 3 things I've discovered I don't like in my time testing this camera. First, DLog 2 limitations. So while this new color mode is incredibly impressive, at the time of testing it is limited to certain modes. It's only available in the 1x zoom, not the second 3x Tele Camera for example. It's also not available in low light mode or in slow motion mode either. Second, vertical mode. Activated by flipping the screen around, lowers the max resolution to 3K. I do not understand why in 2026 we cannot get 4K vertical. Another niggle I mentioned with the Pocket 4 launch, and it's the same here, is DJI has done away with the handy hard protective case. Now instead we get this soft pouch, which in my opinion is just worse. At least there is no fiddly gimbal lock that needs attached like with the Pocket 4. Another upgrade is Activetrack. This gets upgraded to version 8 as opposed to version 7 on the Pocket 4. And while the Pocket 4 was already so good, there wasn't much room left for improvement. Throughout all my tests, may that be running around erratically and fast, tracking in complex environments with objects blocking me momentarily, or parts of my body getting hidden, even disappearing and reappearing, both Pocket cameras do a great job. You can also track everything from people, pets, animals, or even vehicles. The only one improvement I would like to see is that if you get hidden from view for more than 5 seconds, the Pocket 4P seems to forget you and won't pick you back up when you reappear. There's obviously a timeout built in. It would be great to see this removed. The DJI Pocket 4P does expand upon the tracking, however, by allowing it to also work with the 3x Tele Camera. And again, no matter how much I threw at it in all my tests, it continued to stick to me like glue. Super impressive. So let's do some quickfire housekeeping. What other small changes are there and what else remains the same? So first, weight. The Pocket 4P is obviously larger and therefore heavier, although you barely notice that increase when holding it. Battery capacity remains the same, and so with the 4P drawing more power, battery life is down slightly. The Pocket 4 has an official max rated runtime of 4 hours, although in my testing I usually get around 3 hours and 24 minutes, while the Pocket 4P has a lower max rated runtime of 3.5 hours, although I got closer to 3 while recording at 4K 30 FPS. Apart from that, it's pretty much identical in terms of the screen, ports, and mounting options. You have essentially the same amount of internal storage as well. You can also wirelessly connect a mic from the DJI ecosystem, such as the Mic 3, and there are the usual additional modes such as time lapses or hyperlapses. And you get the usual accessories, including my favourite, this little mini tripod, all included in this second carrying case. It's also going to be just as fragile as the Pocket 4. If you drop the 4P on the ground, it's most likely going to break. And for that reason, if you are purchasing this camera, I highly recommend picking up DJI Carry Fresh. It's DJI's protection plan that covers you for accidental drop and water damage. Should you damage it beyond repair and you have the 2-year plan, you can get up to a total of 4 replacements. Which, trust me, I have used this service more times than I can count now between my action cameras and drones, and it's worth it for peace of mind. So, to the question we asked at the start of this video, is the 4P worth the extra money over the 4? And I think if you value getting the ultimate in image quality, and having the flexibility of that 3x camera for more varied shots, the answer is an easy yes. And if you have been holding out as a Pocket 3 owner, there is more than enough new features here to satisfy you. The bigger question is, how does it stack up to its close competitor, the Insta360 Luna Ultra? And with the Vlog combo coming in over €150 cheaper, it certainly has the edge on price. I will be dropping my full, in-depth and complete comparison shortly on the channel, so make sure to subscribe for that if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss it. But I'm keen to know your thoughts. What do you think about the new DJI Pocket 4P? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, if you wish to see how the Pocket 4 stacks up against the Luna, I already have that comparison on the channel, and you can check that out by clicking up here or by using the link in the description down below.